Why canines bark. Thousands of years ago, human beings started the procedure of domesticating the canine and forming what being a pet truly means. Barking is an example of a natural behavior that is encouraged in terms of protecting behavior, but ends up being a problem when the behavior is produced in excess. A current health insurance coverage examination revealed that the sound of a continually barking pet was pointed out as the most disruptive and stress-inducing sound for humans. Why do dogs bark? Barking, in addition to whimper, grumbling and howling, is a canine's natural ways of interaction. Barking is defined by a series of short, sharp noises that tend to vary little in tone or pitch. A dog's bark can signify territorial defense, exertion of supremacy, or expression of some need. Typically, barking is a means of communication triggered by a state of excitement. Being a natural characteristic, barking is not considered a behavioral issue until it is produced in excess. Causes of problem barking. Issue barking has a range of origins. Genes does influence a canine's propensity to bark. Specific types coming from the terrier family are susceptible to more frequent barking than types such as Greyhounds or Basenjis. Normally, nevertheless, excess barking can exist in any type of canine. The secret to fixing the issue of improper barking is to determine what external stimulus is triggering the behavior. Incorrect confinement can be a major reason for issue barkers. Such confinement can cause aggravation in a dog and trigger it to bark excessively. When a pet is not supplied with adequate workout, suppressed energy is launched through barking. These sounds include such things as the barking of other pet dogs, the sound of passing cars and trucks, unusual voices, thunder, and mechanical sounds such as the ringing of the phone. A canine may not bark at accustomed noises during the day, however at night might be incited to a volley of barking, much to the shame of the neighbors, by the smallest of noises. Other causes of problem barking can include separation stress and anxiety, or the character of the pet. An over-aggressive animal might bark at the tiniest provocation. Solutions to excess barking. If left untreated, excess barking can be a severe behavioral issue and can suggest the termination of the relationship with your canine or the pet itself. The following text includes info on how to fix your canine's issue barking as recommended by the veterinary occupation. The initial step in fixing issue barking is to determine if your pet dog is barking in action to insufficient shelter or inappropriate confinement. The pet dog needs to be supplied with a comfortable quantity of space or provided with a doghouse if outside shelter is inadequate. If this is the case, increasing the amount of exercise offered to your dog may also assist. In the event your pet dog is barking in action to ecological sounds, or the barking is just due to its character, behavioral modification approaches need to be used. These techniques can include reconditioning using a spoken reprimand such as no and leash correction. It ought to be kept in mind, however, that you ought to never chew out your pet, as loud noises may motivate your animal to bark more. Also bear in mind the punishment need to be used while the barking is taking place, in order for your pet dog to associate the undesirable behavior with the penalty. Remember to reward your pet dog when it stops barking. Indirect intervention methods can likewise be used. These methods can vary from spraying your canine with water while it is barking, to using noise-producing devices such as dog stop or barker breaker, which discharge high or loud frequency sounds that interrupt and prevent barking. These devices can be managed by the owner or set off by the pet dog's barking. In the event your canine is resistant to these behavioral adjustments, more drastic action can be taken in the kind of bark-activated shock collars. When barking happens in the owner's lack, this gadget is especially efficient. Shock collars, nevertheless, are advised only after other control procedures have stopped working. A last resort, when all other behavioral adjustment approaches have been tried, and particularly when the pet dog's life remains in question, is a vocal cordectomy, debarking. This surgery involves elimination of all or part of the singing cords. The secret to solving the problem of excess barking in your canine starts with an understanding of what is triggering this behavior. As soon as you have determined a cause, you have a greater opportunity of picking the most efficient service, e.g., more workout, or behavioral modification. Customizing such an instinctive and natural behavior as barking can be hard, and may need considerable patience, time, and hard work. Solutions, however, are possible, and worth the effort. A pet dog might not bark at accustomed sounds throughout the day, but at night might be incited to a volley of barking, much to the chagrin of the neighbors, by the tiniest of noises. Other causes of issue barking can consist of separation stress and anxiety, or the temperament of the dog. An over-aggressive animal might bark at the smallest justification. The very first action in solving issue barking is to identify if your pet is barking in reaction to insufficient shelter or improper confinement. In the event your pet dog is barking in response to ecological noises, or the barking is simply due to its personality, behavioral modification approaches ought to be utilized. These techniques can range from spraying your pet dog with water while it is barking, to utilizing noise-producing gadgets such as dog stop or barker breaker, which release high or loud frequency sounds that interrupt and prevent barking.